Caitlin Stansel here, filling in for Bailey Hicks, along with meteorologist Patrick Ellis. Good morning.
Caitlin.
Yeah, a chilly morning. I was using I don't have an ice scraper, so I just used an old CD and I was scraping off my windshield.
An old CD. This is where we're at.
You gotta do what you can.
An old CD. Because you have your iPad, right? Your
yeah,
iPod.
my iPod, yeah.
Yeah, all right. So that's just where we are with technology, I guess. But yeah, it is definitely cold. I had to allow a couple extra minutes for the defroster to do its work this morning. And if you're heading out this morning, you probably are going to want to do the exact same thing. Either get the old CD out or do the defroster and let the car do the work for you. As far as temperatures are concerned this morning, we're starting off into the chilly and frosty 30s and even an upper 20s.
Small business owners hope you're not shopped out for the weekend. Today kicks off Small Business Saturday with many local and independent shops offering deals to customers. Now, small businesses now account for about half of the state's gross product. And while they face a lot of competition from big box stores and online shopping sites, owners say they bring something special to the table.
Small businesses are here for the community, for support, for customer service, to provide them with something that they can't receive over the internet.
And if you can't handle the crowds in those stores, there's still Cyber Monday. While it may be easier to do your holiday shopping with the click of a mouse, though, you need to be careful. The FBI says cyber criminals are getting smarter and savvier. Sarah Blake Morgan has more. Well, according to the Washington Post, cybercrime costs businesses across the globe close to $440 billion every year. Well, protests continue after the Ferguson, Missouri announcement that an officer would not be indicted for an unarmed teen's death. Even right here in our state, a rally planned for Charlotte later this afternoon. The Million Youth March of Charlotte will hold a prayer vigil and peace rally. Meanwhile, take a look at this video. Hundreds of protesters marched through downtown San Francisco last night. A local station there reporting that some in the crowd using hammers to smash the windows of stores, but they were unable to disrupt the lighting of a Christmas tree in that area. Police on hand to handle those crowds. Earlier that day, though, another group of protesters chained themselves to trains in Oakland, temporarily interrupting transit services. And doctors are monitoring a man in Arizona right now to see if he has Ebola. Firefighters arrived at his house in hazmat gear out of concern he could be sick with the deadly disease. He had recently traveled to Sierra Leone, and when he had got back home, he had a fever. Currently, though, there are no confirmed cases of Ebola in the United States. This morning from Brunswick County, state officials say the county needs more workers in the social services office. The county listed as one of 30 statewide, with workers handling more cases than they should, specifically investigators in child protective services. The state mandates one worker for 10 families, but in Brunswick County, they only have one for every 12. DSS leaders will ask county commissioners next week to create a new social worker position to help meet those demands. And this is the time of year when many of you maybe start decorating your home for Christmas. And if you're heading out to get your tree today, listen to this. Several of those Christmas trees are grown right here in North Carolina, and they may be on the way to a tree stand near you. Now, North Carolina ranks second in the nation when it comes to Christmas tree production. It's only behind Oregon. Federal statistics say our state sends out 4 million trees every year, generating about $1 billion worth of money for our state. Well, if you're looking for something to do this weekend after you're all shopped out, here's an idea. The annual flotilla events will be held at Wrightsville Beach tonight. You can catch the festival in the park from 10 to 4 at Wrightsville Beach Park. There are going to be games, food, arts and crafts, an event for all ages. The lighted boat parade that it is well known for will follow the festival, complete with fireworks show at the end of the evening. Now let's head over to meteorologist Patrick Ellis to see what you can expect if you're heading out there to that event tonight. Patrick.
Yeah, Caitlin, it looks like.
And in Brunswick County today, if you've spent all these past few days shopping, you probably have a lot of trash left over, some boxes and bags. Well, folks who missed trash pickup this week, you need to get your garbage and recyclables to the curb this morning. Crews are going to be picking up today. The same schedule will happen on Christmas Day and the day after. The landfill and convenience sites will also reopen today as well. The best deal this shopping season may just be at the gas station. According to AAA, the average price across the nation for a gallon of gas $2.79. But experts are expecting that number to fall and could get as low as $2.50 a gallon. They say cheaper gas may be a factor in why more Americans are feeling better about the economy overall. In a recent CNN poll, 52% said they think things are going very well or fairly well in the country now, and it's the first time a majority of Americans have felt that way in 8 years. And if you'd like to see the lowest gas prices in town or the closest to your home, go to our website, WECT.com, or you can simply download our WECT News app and just scroll to the bottom, click on the Pump Patrol there. You can also check it out on our free news mobile app. Just click on that drop-down menu. And this is also a busy shopping weekend for gun businesses. But before buyers leave gun stores, they have to get clearance from the National Instant Criminal Background Check System. And experts say the rise in purchases puts a strain on the system this time of year. Colleen Harry has more. The FBI says on a normal day, 40 background checks are run every minute. But on Black Friday, that number skyrockets to 120 per minute. Well, time now to check in with Tyler Matheson for a look at the past week in the world of business. Well, thanks for staying with us here on Carolina in the Morning Saturday. Word of the day, though, chili.
Chili.
Right?
Yeah, I would think, especially this morning, chili, the hour-by-hour models, I think all over it as far as...
This morning, this was the scene at a store in Chicago last night. One person dead and another hurt after a shooting there. Now, police say the incident was likely a domestic dispute. Officials say a man shot his girlfriend, who was a seasonal employee at a Nordstrom store there, before turning the gun on himself. The man found dead when police arrived. The woman taken to a hospital in critical condition. Officials say there was no threat to others in the store. And police in Austin, Texas are looking for a motive after a man opens fire on the Mexican consulate and other downtown buildings. You'll see in this video bullet holes riddling these windows here. The man firing more than 100 rounds, hitting the police headquarters among other buildings. Right now, we do know that suspect is dead, but authorities are not quite sure if it was a bullet from police that killed him or if he took his own life. Fortunately, though, no one else was hurt in this incident. In other news making headlines across the country this morning, NFL player Ray Rice has won his appeal of his indefinite suspension, meaning he could potentially be back on the field, but not with the Baltimore Ravens. The NFL took Rice out of the game after videos showed him punching his then fiancée and knocking her unconscious. Well, continuing coverage, the governor of Missouri calling on lawmakers to send help. Jay Nixon says the state needs more funding for public safety amid protest in the Ferguson area. Nixon says that right now the cost of emergency duties and increased presence of State Highway Patrol and National Guard is on track to exceed the funds set aside for this kind of work. The details limited right now, but they are expecting more announcements in coming days. Protests have been ongoing since a grand jury's recent decision not to indict the police officer who shot and killed unarmed teen Michael Brown. Meanwhile, two families who lost sons to gunfire are calling for new dialogue on race and policing in the U.S.
I just tried to encourage him and let him know that God has his hands on the situation and he's going to be okay. First and foremost, you know, it's devastating for a father to lose his son, and I just wanted him to know that he's lost one son, but he's gained many more.
I thank y'all for the love and support.
You saw there Michael Brown's father appeared at an event in Florida Friday with Trayvon Martin's dad as well. The gathering was part of a gospel concert and prayer vigil. Well, time now to take a look outside. If you're waking up, stepping out there outside, chilly temperatures as meteorologist Patrick Ellis is reporting this morning.
Yeah, Caitlin, it is a chilly start to the morning.
The gorgeous sunrise there at Wrightsville Beach. And it was a chilly night last night, but that didn't keep players off the gridiron for Friday night football. John Smith joins us now for a look at this week's playoff games.
Good.
Some great sunrise pictures coming in this morning.
Yes, and we are expecting a beautiful sunrise. We're already seeing that, actually.
Yeah.
But it's going to be cold out there, so if you are going to plan on getting one of those pictures, just grab the jacket. But you won't need it all day today unless you don't like to.
Good morning, I'm Caitlin Stansel filling in for Bailey Hicks. It is 7:25 here in the Port City, 32 degrees. And we're going to have this morning's headlines in just a moment. But first, let's check in with meteorologist Patrick Ellis for a look at your forecast.
Okay.
Good morning, I'm Caitlin Stansel filling in for Bailey Hicks.
And I'm meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
So comfortable weather today, especially if you're maybe heading out to the flotilla event tonight?
Flotilla event tonight should be good. I think we got clear skies. The only problem is that once the sun starts to set later on tonight, that's when it's going to start to feel a little chillier later on this evening. But temperatures today should warm up nicely.
Small business owners hope you're not shopped out for the weekend. Today is Small Business Saturday with many local and independent stores offering deals to customers. Small businesses now account for about half of the state's gross product. And while they face a lot of competition from big box stores and online shopping sites, owners say they bring something special to the table. Now, if you're kind of done with the crowds, there is still Cyber Monday. While it may be easier to do your holiday shopping with the click of a mouse, though, you need to be careful. The FBI says cyber criminals are getting smarter and savvier. Sarah Blake Morgan has more. And this is the time of year when many of you start decorating your home for Christmas. And if you're heading out to get your tree today, listen to this. Several of those trees grown right here in our state and on the way to a tree stand near you. Now, North Carolina ranks second in the nation when it comes to Christmas tree production, only behind Oregon. Federal statistics say our state sends out about 4 million trees every year, generating about $1 billion worth of money for North Carolina. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend after you're all shopped out, here's an idea. The annual flotilla events will be held at Wrightsville Beach tonight. Familiar scenes here behind me. You can catch the festival in the park from 10 to 4 at Wrightsville Beach Park. There are going to be games, food, arts and crafts, and an event for all ages. The lighted boat parade will follow the festival, complete with a fireworks show to end the evening. Now let's head over to meteorologist Patrick Ellis to check in with him about some of those temperatures that you might expect tonight as well if you head out to that flotilla event.
Yeah, Caitlin, we are talking about a pretty chilly night.
Thanks for staying with us here on Carolina in the Morning Saturday. We are getting some great pictures into our hashtag WECT sunrise.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sunrise. This one came in from Melvin Andrews on email.
Well, new this morning, this was the scene at a store in Chicago last night. One person dead and another hurt after a shooting. Police say the incident was likely a domestic dispute. Officials say a man shot his girlfriend, who was a seasonal employee at a Nordstrom store there, before turning the gun on himself. The man was found dead when police arrived. The woman, though, taken to a hospital in critical condition. Officials say, fortunately, no one else there was in any danger during that incident. And police in Austin, Texas are looking for a motive after a man opens fire on the Mexican consulate and other buildings in downtown Austin. You see in this video many windows riddled with gunfire. The man firing more than 100 rounds, hitting the police headquarters among other buildings. Right now, we do know that suspect is dead, but authorities are not sure if it was a bullet from police that killed him or if he took his own life. Fortunately, no one else was hurt. And a scary situation in New York when 2 boys were trapped under several feet of snow this week, and now their families thanking 2 police officers involved in rescuing them.
Me and my cousin, we couldn't feel part of our bodies. I couldn't feel my legs, he couldn't feel a whole half of his body.
Cousins Jason and Elijah were trapped in a snowbank for hours. Wednesday night, they were building a snow fort when a plow pushed a pile of snow on top of them. Now, when they missed their curfew, their families, police, neighbors launched an all-out search, and it was one of those officers that noticed a shovel sticking out of the snow and started digging. Fortunately, those boys are said to be doing much better this morning. In other news making headlines across the country, NFL player Ray Rice has won his appeal of his indefinite suspension, meaning he could potentially be back on the field, but not for the Baltimore Ravens. The NFL took Rice out of the game after videos showed him punching his then fiancée and knocking her unconscious. Well, the governor of Missouri calling on lawmakers to send help. Jay Nixon says the state needs more funding for public safety amid protests in the Ferguson area. Nixon says that right now the cost of emergency duties and increased presence of State Highway Patrol and National Guard is on track to exceed the funds set aside for this kind of work. The details are limited right now, with more announcements expected in the coming days. Protests have been ongoing since a grand jury's recent decision not to indict the police officer who shot and killed Michael Brown. Meanwhile, 2 families who lost sons to gunfire calling for a new dialogue on race and policing in the U.S.
I just tried to encourage him and let him know that God has his hands on the situation and he's going to be okay. First and foremost, you know, it's devastating for a father to lose his son, and I just wanted him to know that he's lost one son, but he's gained many more.
I thank y'all for the love and support.
Michael Brown's father appeared at an event in Florida Friday with Tracy Martin, the father of Trayvon Martin. The gathering was part of a gospel concert and prayer vigil. And in international news, listen to this. Police in Australia made a big discovery this week, finding some 3 tons of illegal drugs worth $1.3 billion. Officials say the drugs were hidden in unmarked boxes in a container of furniture.
Ladies and gentlemen, this was a sophisticated operation. By any measure, this is an enormous seizure of illicit narcotics that have been removed from distribution on our streets. It's also a bold attempt by organised crime to target this country with large illicit narcotic importations. Commission, thank you very much.
Officials say 6 men have been arrested, accused of attempting to smuggle those drugs into Australia. Well, time now to take a look outside. Let's head over to meteorologist Patrick Ellis, who says it should be a good night. Maybe take the jacket with you if you're heading over to the Wrightsville Beach flotilla event, though.
Yeah, I would agree.
This has arrived in Japan, but not in the way you might expect. He's apparently a certified diver. Check him out here, going underwater to play with some dolphins at an aquarium in that country. Needless to say, a unique arrival by Old St. Nick there. And the legalization of recreational marijuana in Colorado is opening the door to some unique holiday bargains. Forget plasma TVs, toys, game consoles. In Denver, green is the new black, and pot shops are offering their best prices of the year this weekend, and shoppers are taking full advantage.
I'm a grump all year long, okay? I don't talk to anybody, basically. This is my time to shine.
Every once in a while, you meet someone who has that special something that you just can't put your finger on, but you recognize it right away. And that's how some people describe a Salvation Army bell ringer in Las Vegas, who has brought in more than $10,000 just with his charm. His name is Jimmy Liebman. And when people are around him, it seems they just want to give. He's been bringing in more than $10,000 every single year. Just last year, though, bringing in $12,000. So far, though, this year, Liebman appears to be off to a good start. No word yet on those final collections. We'll have to wait and see, but that is insane. $10,000.
$10,000, and now you can do it with your phone too. So you have no excuse really, because you know some people are like, I just have a debit card, you know,
no cash,
no cash, yeah. So you have no excuse now. All right, so rivalry week.
We've been practicing.
Because we were struggling a couple of minutes ago. All right, let's take a look at some of those forecasts. Because
Caitlin Stansel here, filling in for Bailey Hicks this morning. In the Weather Center today, we are talking about a little bit warmer temperatures and sunny and beautiful. Sunny and beautiful, and you're right, Caitlin, we are talking about some warmer temperatures today comparative to the last couple of days. Now, yesterday into the 50s, we got 55 for a high. Today, probably into the mid-60s for many areas, and maybe 1 or 2 spots trying to get up into the upper 60s tomorrow. I think everybody's going to get into the upper 60s, so good news there. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on here currently. We've got clear sky. Officials are expecting to learn more today about a man found dead at a Brunswick County golf course. An autopsy set to happen later today to see if he drowned or died from natural causes. Now, the maintenance worker was found in the water on the Tiger's Eye course at Ocean Ridge Plantation. That's according to officials with the Brunswick County Sheriff's Office. They say the man had been operating a piece of machinery that was also in the water. The man's identity not released at this time. They are waiting until his family has been notified. And 3 people arrested this weekend after leading officers on a chase here in Wilmington. You're looking at the scene outside of Books A Million off of Oleander as patrol cars surrounded the suspect's vehicle. Now you heard it right there, officers asking those suspects to step out of their vehicle. And police say everything started outside of the Walmart in Monkey Junction. From there, that's when 3 suspects reportedly pointed BB guns at a victim. The victim then started chasing those suspects. Then police were called. Officers say the suspects refused to stop and started throwing what they believe is marijuana out of the window. The chase came to an end outside of the Books A Million there. Charges are pending at this time. And police in the Port City say they caught a suspect red-handed breaking into cars. Officers say Tyshawn Hurd is a repeat offender. He's been charged at least 10 times in the past 2 years for this very same crime. Officers tell us witnesses tipped them off, and they caught Hurd stealing from a car in the Cape Fear Museum parking lot. Both Both of those cards Heard reportedly broke into were unlocked. So this morning, officers again urging and warning you to lock your car doors. Well, new this morning, officials in Ferguson, Missouri plan to address the resignation of Officer Darren Wilson. He's been on administrative leave since shooting and killing unarmed teen Michael Brown. His resignation, though, effective immediately. Wilson saying he is scared for his life following a grand jury's decision not to indict him for Brown's death, though many people are not satisfied with his choice to end his career in that town.
He's 112 days late. Thank goodness. We're so glad.
So does this bring any kind of comfort to the situation?
No. Still, we don't have justice. So no.
Do you think his resignation means anything?
No.
It does not.
No, it doesn't. It just means that he got away with murder. He free. He gone to live his life and do whatever he want to do. That's all that means.
Well, while Wilson isn't saying much more about his resignation right now, he has said that he still wants to be a police officer, just not in Ferguson. Well, happening tonight, we have a work zone to warn you about in Wilmington. Princess Street between North 2nd and 3rd Streets will be closed. This closure happening until Friday, December 5th. Crews working on utility maintenance in that area. And in Brunswick County, starting on Monday, Iota Drive near NC 179 in Ocean Isle Beach will be closed to drivers. Crews there working on bridge maintenance. The closure will last until December 12th. And the holiday flotilla in Wrightsville Beach happening last night, getting many in gear for the holiday spirit, boats decked out in lights. And this morning we've learned Mike Spivey took home the award for Best in Show with his creation. Check it out here. Look at this turtle created out of lights on his boat. This is the 31st year of the North Carolina Holiday Flotilla. And I was there last night, Patrick. So much fun, but it was definitely chilly. I mean, I had a jacket, scarf on, but I wasn't prepared for those really chilly temperatures, even though you were saying it all morning yesterday.
Yeah, we were
Well, the latest numbers are in, and it looks like Black Friday was not as successful as previous years, and experts say sales starting earlier are to blame. Researchers say Black Friday store sales were around $9.1 billion, a drop of 7% compared with the same day last year. Now, Thanksgiving Day, though, purchases rose 24%. And the popularity of shopping online has also lured people away from the traditional Black Friday deals. Well, speaking of shopping online, Cyber Monday right around the corner. Retailers continuing to dish out the deals, allowing you to shop from the comfort of your couch. Karen Kafa has tips for safe and secure online shopping on Monday and through the rest of the holiday shopping season. Well, Attorney General Roy Cooper also sharing some similar advice this morning. He says if you plan to shop online, make sure the website you're shopping on is secure. And the way you can do that is look for a lock icon and a web address that starts with HTTPS. Also require a signature for when the package arrives. In the past, criminals have followed delivery trucks into neighborhoods and stolen packages from the doorstep. Well, time now to take a look outside. If you're heading out the door, maybe going to church this morning, let's head over to meteorologist Patrick Ellis.
Yeah, you got no issues as far as the weather is concerned. Here's a live look from our First Alert traffic camera.
Many people gathering this weekend to say their final farewell to a doctor who died from Ebola. Friends describing Dr. Salia Martin as tireless and dedicated to helping those in need.
This guy has a permanent resident in this country and decided to go back and sacrifice for his people, which means he's exemplary, he's extraordinary.
Dr. Martin died at a hospital in Nebraska earlier this month after contracting Ebola. Now, he was infected with the disease while working as a surgeon in Sierra Leone, and while he didn't directly work with Ebola patients, he was diagnosed with the deadly disease and just days later brought to the U.S. where doctors were unable to save him.
I'm sure that he came into contact with Ebola patients whether he knew it or not. And he was a smart enough diagnostician that when the test was negative the first time, he turned around a couple of days later and had himself tested again. Said, I feel like I've got it, and he was right.
Right now, there are no confirmed cases of Ebola here in the United States. In other medical news this morning, researchers say daily exercise may help reduce the risk for Parkinson's disease. Now, experts looked at a group of about 43,000 men and women, and what they found is that those who exercised more than 6 hours a week had a 43% lower risk of developing that disease than people who did not get as much physical activity. Now, the exercise was not vigorous. Researchers say study participants got most of their physical activity just through daily housework. And there's some important health news for families with food allergies making trips to see Mickey Mouse this holiday season. Maps around Disney World will now point you to places where they are going to have emergency epinephrine injectors. Now, epinephrine can be used during a serious allergic reaction. These EpiPens, though not meant to take the place of personal kits that families travel with, but are available in case of emergency. Disney Cruise Lines will also have those EpiPens in stock as well. Well, let's check in again with meteorologist Patrick Ellis for a look at your forecast.
Caitlin's going to be...
And that could be a perfect scene for Santa, who seems to be going cyber these days thanks to smartphones and other new technology. The time spent patiently waiting in line to snap a pic with old St. Nick and hand over a wish list may soon be over. Well, a week-long protest starting this weekend. Demonstrators marching 120 miles to the governor's mansion in Missouri. And what they're demanding is new leadership for the police department in Ferguson after a grand jury failed to indict an officer who shot and killed unarmed teen Michael Brown. The NAACP organizing this march, wanting to see police reform happen across the country.
It is a righteous anger, but it's a matter of turning anger into action, funneling that anger, and bringing about justice. That's what we're seeking to do here.
Meanwhile, a photo going viral right now showing an officer in Portland hugging a young boy, taken during the Ferguson demonstration in Portland, Washington. If we can take that video now, Sergeant Brett Barnum is seen in that video hugging a small boy. You can see it right here. What a touching photograph. Now, the boy was crying and wearing a sign that read "Free Hug," so the officer went up to him, started talking to the boy, and asked for a hug as well.
There's been a lot of tears shed on my part, and I know a lot of other people's parts, and it's the humanity in us, and you know, we just try and be good humans.
Well, the picture was shot by a freelance photographer who says he knew right away there was something special about that moment, and he wanted to share it with the rest of the world. Okay, take a look at this video into our newsroom this morning. A small plane losing power in Connecticut and had to make a crash landing on the street. What a scene there. That plane heavily damaged, but the pilot fortunately unhurt in the crash, and no other injuries were reported from the street as well. Though if you're looking at this video right here, the FAA is doing a full investigation into what may have caused this crash. And a crowded football stadium fell silent Saturday as one player's picture lit up the scoreboard. You can see in this video here behind me. Next to that picture, though, a plea for information. Costa Care George has been missing since Wednesday, and he's a walk-on with the Ohio State University, missing one of the biggest games of the year, something his family and his coach say he would never do.
I know there was a lot of prayers on the team because a lot of the guys are friends with Costa. He was only with us since August, so to say I know him that well, I didn't know him that well, but I've talked to his mom a few times, and we're just, you know, come home safe, man.
Well, several former Ohio State football players are now offering a reward as well, up to $1,000 to anyone with information that will help find their friend. And more changes are coming to the NFL's personal conduct policy. This after running back Ray Rice won his appeal over his indefinite suspension by the league. He was initially suspended for 2 games after being accused of assaulting his now wife, but after new video of the attack came out, his punishment was upped to an indefinite suspension. Well, Rice appealed and won, and the NFL says it expects the newly revised conduct policy to be released in the coming weeks. We'll be sure to follow that story. Still, though, no word on what Rice's appeal means for Carolina Panthers player Greg Hardy. Hardy is on voluntary leave of absence with pay until his legal proceedings are resolved. He's currently appealing a judge's guilty verdict that he assaulted his ex-girlfriend. His trial was supposed to start earlier this month, but it was pushed back because of a backlog of cases. The trial now set for sometime early next year, depending on the results of that appeal. Hardy could face more discipline from the NFL. And now that Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel has announced he's stepping down after being pushed out, the big question on everyone's mind is who will take his place. Many experts saying the search for Hagel's replacement could prove more difficult than the White House expected. Now, the White House, their early hopes to head the Defense Department, Rhode Island Senator Jack Reed, but even as the search continues, there's still quite a to-do list on the defense chief's desk. And at the top of that, carrying out the president's hotly debated strategy against ISIS.
They're going to have to send more over there. They're going to have 4 air controllers on the ground. They're going to have special forces people. We're going to have trainers.
Now, a few other names on that list: experienced Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson, who has experience dealing with ISIS on the domestic front, and the former number 2 at the Pentagon, Ash Carter. Well, the Pope expected to return to Rome today after meeting with Muslim leaders in Istanbul. He's on a mission of peace and understanding in that largely Muslim nation. NBC's Richard Engel reports with the latest. Well, hundreds of U.S. students getting a rare opportunity this weekend, arriving in Cuba aboard a cruise ship. The students part of the Semester at Sea program. Cuba, the last stop for the group. Now, here's why it's such a big deal. Cuba is still under an embargo by the United States and is on the State Department's watch list as a sponsor of terrorism. This annual visit to Havana is the only time so many Americans are allowed on the island nation at one time. And a new report out now that says planes could be in danger competing for airspace with private drones.
If nothing's done, we're going to have a mid-air collision in which a lot of people lose their lives.
A very serious situation. As you just heard, the Federal Aviation Administration says those small remote-controlled aircraft, often fitted with cameras, are causing real trouble for pilots, leading to a surge of near collisions between drones and jets packed with flyers. The alarming new report says recently 3 aircraft on the same day reported a very close call with a drone near LaGuardia. Another pilot saying he almost hit one, and yet another spotted one just below his right wing, as well as 2 commercial jets almost hitting one about 5,000 feet in the air. So now drone enthusiasts are worried the report could set the stage for tough regulations. Officials are expecting to release new guidelines on the commercial use of those drones in the next few weeks. And drones are no doubt a popular item these days, and with the holiday shopping season underway, many new gadgets and toys are going Hollywood. Julia Borston takes a look at entertainment brands in the spotlight this year. Okay, Patrick, you have to check this out. You know, we do a Pet of the Week segment on Carolina in the Morning during the week. Well, a TV station in Miami does kind of the same thing, but you know, live TV never goes as planned. So they had this dog there, and well, he decided to interrupt the weather segment. Take a look at this.
Over the course of the next few days, you know, right before Thanksgiving, I actually closed the complaint desk, but I'm going to have to reopen it. Hey, King, how are you? Woo! Live TV, how are you, buddy? It's not your turn yet. You have to wait one more segment, okay? Just let me do the weather. I know you're stoked. So are we.
How cute is that? I love this video. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to put this in the show. I wish Kim was here because, you know, she kind of organizes the Pet of the Week for our newscast, and it never goes how she plans it, because I think she does this thing where they pick which football team is going to...
Yeah, for a Sunday night football, and they never want to eat.
They're never hungry, or they're just too nervous to eat. So I thought that was so funny. And as you heard, the dog's name is King. He's a 1-year-old American Bulldog mix. And it looks like he'll probably be getting a home pretty soon. How cute was he?
He was cute. I don't think he would get on our weather desk, but...
I don't think that'd be possible.
I don't think it's possible, but anyways. All right, let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. I want a weather dog, though. That'd be fun.
A weather dog.